In this video, we want to answer the question, what does it actually truly mean to be a Christian? Is it because I'm involved in church and I attend the church and I come to a church community and I know what to do and how to behave that's what makes me a Christian? You'll be surprised that there's so many people who think that Christianity is just the activity of Christians, but there's so much more to it. So in this video, we want to unpack and figure out what does it actually mean to be a Christian. This is Discipleship Everywhere, a platform for discipleship vision, inspiration, and training wherever you are, whenever you need it. One of the things that we wrongly assume is that because someone seems to be participating in Christian activity, therefore it means that they must be a Christian. In my experience, I've sat with people and discovered in talking with them, in discerning together with them, that they have heard many sermons, they've been to many church services, but they themselves never fully became and understood what it means to be a Christian. So today I want to share with you a very simple illustration that you can use at a cafe. You're sitting with some friends, around your dinner table with your family, and whenever you need to explain what it actually means to be a Christian, this illustration can help. I know it works with 6-year-olds. I also know it works with people with advanced degrees in their later ages. And we're just calling this very simple illustration the 3 jars. So very often what I do is I use whatever's available, So if I'm in a cafe, I'll just kind of take whatever mugs are there, whatever cups are there, and use some items to try and illustrate and explain actually what does it really mean to be a Christian. I start by describing God. And I try and say this, God is perfect in every way. And so it's like, imagine God had water that was up to the brim of this glass. He's pure and he's perfect. And what God did was God created man. And God created man in the image that is God, which means this, that when God first created man, we had his character and nature. We had water on the inside, illustratively. But we decided, because we were given the ability to choose, we decided that we would do our own thing and we would be disobedient to God. And with the power of choice, we chose other than God. We chose ourselves. And in that choice, we introduce sin, not only into our world, but into our hearts as well. And so what I do is I explain that what was once water, now imagine if I put coffee powder in. That coffee powder will turn the water and stain it brown. And so the inside has got coffee. And this is a picture of humanity today. And it's not difficult to come to this conclusion. We like to pretend it's not the case. We like to pretend that the challenge or the problems that we face with our world is because of everything around us. And yes, there are institutional problems that need to be still resolved. But if we're honest, we come to the realization that there is still a problem inside of us. And so we do many things. We numb ourselves, we run away, we pretend, we ignore. But this never leaves us. And so on the other hand, what we try to do is this, we try and clean the outside as much as possible. We shine it, we try and make sure that, this outside looks great to other people. And so we try to do good. And in doing good, we're just cleaning the outside. But we go home at night realizing that still there is coffee on the inside. This is our story. So what did God do when he looked at this? Because the biggest thing that broke God's heart was this. Remember, God had water inside and we have coffee. See, the biggest problem is this. Now coffee and water cannot mix. And so we've been separated from God. That's the problem that we face. And that's why all our running and all our stuff and all our material gain very often leads us nowhere. Because we were made to have fellowship and friendship with God. So what do we do with this coffee? Because all that cleaning is not going to do very much, right? Actually, there's nothing we can do. And if we come to this realization, we come to the beginning point of what was really required. Because here's what God did. God sent Jesus in the very image of a man to come and be amongst us. He was like us, but not like us in that he was not sinful. And that's why the angel Gabriel had to come to Mary and say that you will conceive a son, and this child will be birth of the Holy Spirit. So he did not come. Jesus did not come from the same line as all of us did. And this holy, perfect God who came in the person of Jesus then becomes sin for us when he dies upon a cross. What happens is this: he was pure and he had water, but he willingly took on our coffee. He willingly allowed himself to become our coffee, and he dies upon that cross. Why? Because the wages, the price of our sin is death. And so he needed to die. That's really what the situation is historically. Now that leaves us with a choice. We can choose to keep cleaning the outside, or we can apply faith, which is really just saying trust and confidence. I trust and have confidence that Jesus has taken all of my sin, and I want to receive his nature in my place. And so when we put our trust, our faith in what Jesus has done on that cross, then he removes our coffee and he pours his nature into us. That moment, that thing, that changing of our nature is not just the cleaning of the outside, the changing of our true nature on the inside. That's the doctrine of regeneration. And that's what makes us a Christian. Not the activities that we do alone, but that we have been regenerated by the work of the Holy Spirit, the gift of grace. Jesus said this. He said that we needed to be born again. So the nature needed to be renewed and restored. That's what makes us a Christian. But that's only part one. I want you to come back and tune in to the next video as we talk about the importance of what else follows this. So may you, as you go and make disciples wherever you are, remember and realize that what makes you a Christian, what makes me a Christian, is not how much Bible knowledge we have alone, what we do with our lives and what we do with our time, even though that is significant and important. What fundamentally makes us a Christian is that Jesus, by the work of the Holy Spirit, God has come and regenerated us. We have a new nature. That old nature is gone. The new nature is here. You know, and to put it in terms of this illustration, no longer coffee on the inside. Now I have water, which is the character and nature of Christ in me. That is the hope of glory. And maybe today this is the first time you are seeing it as well. Would you just take a few moments and would you worship God and thank him because of what he has done? You today are changed. Be blessed as you go forth from here to go make disciples wherever you are.